Today is going to be a great day. I am Nikki G, your host. Welcome to the Lone Doctrine, the food for thought exploration station, and your place in making today better than yesterday. We keep it short, simple, actionable, and practical. As we head into the holidays, it's a time of giving. Giving is important, but it may be a good argument in saying giving to yourself is more important. How do you feel about that statement? Let me dive a little deeper. If we aren't filling our own cup, how will you have anything to give? Now, I'm not talking about just giving gifts. I'm talking about the deeper connection of living a full life and being able to give in its true form to others around you, essentially making the world a better place. That was quite a run-on sentence. The concept of what I like to call filling your cup is a concept that I still work on, but one I had to change for betterment of everyone around me. Maybe you are too, the type of person that gives, puts others before yourself, and tries to do and be everything everyone else wants. I raise my hand humbly in saying that I've been through my fair share of being someone who gives to others before myself, and also someone that's been taken advantage of time and time again. I had to learn through some very hard experiences how to find my balance, but I'm hoping you won't have to by being here today. Or maybe you will, because sometimes that's the only way we learn. But in that, I encourage you to embrace the lesson. We only grow unless we're willing to learn. Or as the quote says, it's not the mistake that matters, it's how you deal with it, what you learn from it, and how you apply that lesson to your life. Do you feel like you keep ending up in the same relationship? Do you feel drained? Do you feel like you give and are mostly surrounded by takers? Well, this month we're going to explore how important it is to give to yourself before you give to others. We are taught in all the questionable ways, and I'm here to constantly shake it up. Side note, want to shake things up more? Watch Adam Ruins Everything on Netflix. I've always been taught to think critically, to never rely on just one source, or just one way, or just one person. And I've always been very strong-willed most of my life. So much so, my parents bought a How to Handle a Strong-Willed Child book when I was young. This is part of why I'm so passionate about this podcast and the exploration of food for thought and what makes us tick. We come into the world as somewhat of a blank canvas, and we start to absorb the world around us like a sponge. In a nutshell, if our guardians were to teach us blue is yellow and red is black, how would we ever know different? We wouldn't. Life is built on different constructive, collaborative decisions based essentially on someone's imagination. Who determines blue is blue? That's a whole different topic I could dive deep into because I took a lot of philosophy classes in college, and boy, did they get you thinking. Back to the point at hand. We are taught many things, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's set in stone. One aspect many of us are taught is that giving to yourself or putting yourself first is selfish. This isn't meant in an egotistical way of me, or someone that owes you something. It's being able to care for your well-being, your health, filling your cup so you have something to give. If you're running on empty, what you give lacks and can lead to strain in your well-being and in your relationships. We're going to explore many different aspects of this concept, but I wanted to start off with some reasons of why giving to yourself isn't selfish, and here's a few examples by mindbodygreen.com. Here's 5 reasons why putting yourself first is the opposite of selfish. The people you love the most love you too. Your loved ones want to see you happy and healthy. Think about all the relationships that you are a part of and how much better they are when the other person is feeling their best emotionally, physically, and mentally. Think about how you feel when you sleep sufficiently each night. regularly exercise, eat healthy food, see friends and family on a regular basis, engage in stimulating work. The list can go on and on. By contrast, when you become too far spent and no longer have your full energy, your irritability affects the people you love, not just your own well-being. When you direct partial attention towards yourself, you start to show up in facets of your life as a partial version of yourself. Your loved ones will feel that, and your relationships will ultimately suffer. Here's another food for thought. When you're burned out, you simply can't enjoy the good moments in life. Being overworked, wrecked with anxiety, stress, or exhaustion can make everything feel like a chore, even the good stuff like dinner plans with friends or trying to read a good book. Why? Because you need a break. Even though that concert should have been a lot of fun, you simply can't be fully present and give your positive energy to the situation if you're running on empty. When burnouts happen, you deplete your serotonin and other happy hormones by just trying to keep yourself going. You no longer have the brain chemistry to be happy, just being, let alone to enjoy the show or whatever other fun activity you may have planned. Sometimes saying no to seemingly fun plans with friends and family means saying yes to the overall happiness of those of your loved ones, even when it seems counterintuitive. Resting isn't an option. It's a requirement. There is never a shortage of a to-do list item to complete, invitations to accept, and commitments to make. It's naturally to want to say yes to all of it, to people please, to avoid conflict, to be nice. The reasons are infinite, which is exactly why it's time for all of us to stop. Our psychology and physiology are intimately interconnected. When you don't rest and give yourself a break, your body goes into survival mode and your stress levels go up and burnout becomes a vicious cycle. This means pulling in reinforcements from parts of our brain reserved for things like love, connection, and contentment. When you overextend one part of you, everything and everyone suffers. And here's another reason why giving back to yourself isn't selfish. Pushing yourself past your personal thresholds can make you physically sick, and I've been there. Stress, anxiety, and exhaustion wreak havoc on your physiology. Stress is our internal alarm system that tells us that we are approaching troubled ground. Evolutionary stress prepped our body for challenges by pulling in extra resources so that we could survive the problem that was ahead of us. When we need it, stress is a good thing. However, now that so many people are living in a chronic state of anxiety, our bodies are overworking themselves to death, literally. Stress can cause a chain reaction that pulls resources from your mind and body that are meant to be used elsewhere. While the internal stress response is supposed to be a temporary emergency occurrence, an overabundance of stress and overuse of our central nervous system and hormones causes our immune system to suffer. Stress invites sickness and disease to settle in. And one more thought of the day. Energy transfers to the ones you love. Energy transfers to the ones you love. People feel the energy you bring to every situation. If you are happy, they will absorb that. If you are angry, they will feel that too. Your emotions don't even have to be that extreme for your loved ones to absorb this energy. So recognize that power, subtle as it may be at times. If you are standing alone in a kitchen and your best friend or family member walks in, they will pick up what kind of mood you are in instantly. It's becoming normal to see children testing high in cortisol levels just barely into their teens because they have absorbed the stress of their well-meaning parents. The best thing you can do for your loved ones is to be the healthiest and happiest self you can be. Sometimes that means saying no. Sometimes that no may disappoint others. But most important of all is listening to the wisdom of your body and your mood. Taking time for yourself serves everyone around you. Trust me, you'll thank the process later. I encourage you to rewind this episode and think back to these reasons, because sometimes the first hurdle in caring for ourselves is realizing it's not selfish. In fact, it's more important than ever. I feel in this high-paced world we live in, we are at the edge of burnout at all times. I feel ya. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And I've somewhat recently made changes and created some boundaries in my life, and I can tell you firsthand that it's an ongoing process. Your life chapters will bring new adjustments. It will take time to change and time to grow, which can eventually lead you to the best parts of your life. So, listen back and start to think how you can reshape and give to yourself more. How will you fill your cup? If you found value in the Lone Doctrine, or if you believe in our mission, we would be so grateful for your support. We've partnered up with Patreon, a place where you as a supporter can become a patron in helping us stay on air and keep fighting the good fight. By becoming a Patreon, you make today better than yesterday. Visit patreon.com/Lone Doctrine, patreon.com/Lone Doctrine, or the link in the show notes. There's a great quote, "Be a fountain, not a drain," and we hope to be able to continue to be your fountain of food for thought. The exchange in your support not only results in good vibes, but anything and everything goes towards the betterment of our mission. Thank you so much for your consideration, and an extra thank you to our current Patreons, and we hope to see you over at patreon.com/Lone Doctrine. The Lone Doctrine is your exploration station, a place to explore a wide spectrum of life's food for thought. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope to see you next time. And if you know of anyone who could benefit from this podcast, we would love for you to share. Together, we make a difference. And until next time, keep fighting the good fight.
It's a great